According to Albert Einstein, we cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. My name is Corinna Stoffel, and I'm the host of Toward a New World. The world seems to be falling apart. Are you as frustrated as I am with the talk about how to fix things or what needs to change, yet nothing changes? In the episodes, I invite people to look from different perspectives, sometimes even contrary to the current points of view. My intention is to evoke a different level of consciousness by empowering listeners to explore what is true for them and begin to live their lives from that place, thus changing their lives and through it, the world. If this appeals to you, I ask you to subscribe to the podcast on this channel. Hi, and welcome. Here we are again. I have talked quite a bit about elders, and big reason for that is that we are missing elders. We don't have elders. We have a lot of older people, especially with the baby boomers going into retirement. But elders in the indigenous tradition were a special type of person that had acquired wisdom and knowledge and deep personal growth, had special abilities. And so it is my intention to talk about that difference between an older person and an elder. Elders have a deep connection to spirit and their soul. At the same time, they have done a lot of personal growth, like learning to let go of judgment and move into more of a state of allowance, of appreciating diversity, of having a bigger, larger perspective, having an engagement with their community, with the world. So often it is that older people start incrementally retreating from the world, moving more and more into their little cocoon. An elder stays engaged with the world, participates in the world, sees what's going on, and due to the connection to spirit or their soul, they are able to ask questions of what is it that is going on? What is it, or is it necessary for something to change? What can I contribute to that? And they are able to hear the whispers of spirit, of their soul. It's not something that is coming from the intellect. This area is not so much part. It's not part, but it's not as much part of the elder as their heart is. And looking over my life, I can see how I have been a generalist for the general public, so to speak, having something for everybody. And as we moved into, as the COVID pandemic hit, I realized, wait a second, I'm a rite of passage guide. I have gone through my own transitions. I am intimately familiar with the process of a transition. That is something I can contribute. So I started to narrow in, and towards the end of last year, beginning this year, I don't know exactly, it was even more of a narrowing in. What about educating the public, and especially people over 50, about elderhood and inviting them to step onto that road to elderhood? And it's been an interesting journey. In January, I started a project called Creating the Impossible with Michael Neal. And what came to me when I became aware of that project and contemplated it, came to me, I need to write a book. And I've had that, you need to write a book. It's time on and off over the years, but not knowing what to write about, it sort of vanished again. This time it was different. This time I also got a title, Stepping Stones to Wisdom. And over those past few weeks, let's say from the beginning of the year, the past 6 weeks, it actually even shifted that I replaced wisdom with elderhood, stepping stones to elderhood. And it's my way, sharing my way of becoming an elder. And it is just within the last 2, 3 weeks that I actually started owning the fact that I am an elder and started acknowledging that. And it is interesting what happens as a sudden. I got that vision that elders are a big part of leading us out of this transition that we are in, because we are in a global collective transition with everything that is going on. Just look around you. Systems are no longer working. We are getting more and more into wars again. And there, I don't need to go into that because there's also a lot of personal opinion in it. But just look around and see what you perceive. Choosing for the last few months to actually connect to my soul again actively. I've always been connected to my soul, and ultimately, each one of us is connected to our soul. But are we listening to the whispers? Are we willing to ask our soul for input, for guidance? And I have to say, doing that, I'm getting better at hearing the whispers and then acting on the whispers. I have experiences of an incredibly expansive energy where it's just boom, 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 boom. The whole day I'm creating. I'm writing something. I'm doing this with the book, especially. There's a lot of writing. And I get into what I have been creating since. But it almost is like magic. And I have to say, since experiencing that a few times, it's almost like, what is wrong today that I don't have that feeling of magic? And at the same time, I am clearly aware that not every day is the same way. Not every day I can be in the same field of energy on the same level. So I'm not making myself wrong or anybody or anything wrong in that sense. But having that expansive energy and that sense of magic, I finally was able to rewrite my homepage. I had already started to narrow it down, I thought, thinking here. It was still a little bit more narrowed than the being anything and everything for everybody. But I honed it down. It is so much more focused really on elderhood. And although it being focused, it is spacious at the same time. I created the Facebook group Circle of Wise Hearts as a place for people over 50 again to come together to explore, is elderhood something that they are interested in? Because right now, when I talk with people about elderhood, it's sort of like, huh? What are you talking about? There is not much knowledge out there. And so, how can people decide to step on the road to elderhood if they don't even know what elderhood is all about? And so, I want to invite you, if this is something that interests you, join me in my Facebook group, Circle of Wise Hearts. Check out my website, beinginawareness.com. I will put the links in the show notes. And I'm also learning to ask for help from others. Let me know if you know of a place where I can give a talk. Even if you are willing to have a group of friends over and we can do I can do a virtual talk with question and answers. So are you willing to support this as we get deeper into that transition and also start moving through that transition? I do not foresee that transition to be done within a year or two. It'll take longer because it's a major leap forward. I've talked in a recent talk about us moving from humanity 1.0, where we focus on competition, monoculture, and judgment, to moving to humanity 2.0, where we focus on collaboration, appreciation of diversity, and allowance. So we are in it. How are we getting through it? That is something to be seen. And I want to definitely contribute following the whispers that I am hearing. So again, either subscribe to the channel to hear more, join me in my Facebook group, or let me know where I could be a contribution with educating about elders. Thank you so much. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.